And what happens is that you begin to relive your past and you bring it into your future. You start to react to things based on what was in your past, and it keeps you in that mode. And it can make you sick. And that's what the stress connection is about. Is that stress can make you sick. And you can think yourself sick. You can think about a stress. That's what PTSD is. You just think, you relive a stressful situation. Now, you may not be reliving war, but you may be reliving war with your ex-spouse, or reliving the war with your mother, or relive. So you have this uh, stress response, and it creates adrenaline. So you feel it's a way of getting energy, but it eventually burns out, just like you saw in that cortisol test. She eventually began to burn out because she had all these stressors. And then cortisol blocks sex hormones. Again, when you are under stress, you are not thinking about procreating, you are thinking about survival. And when you're in survival mode, what happens is it breaks you down, is what we call it. It's catabolic. It breaks you down. So when you are stressed, you cannot rebuild anything. You have to think, when you are stressed and thinking your life is in danger because you're in this fight or flight, you are not worried. Your immune system is not worried about a cancer that can kill you 10 years from now. It's worried about an infection in case you get bitten by an animal or you get cut by a robber. So that's a different type of immune system. That's your white blood cells and all that. It's another called your T cells that look, and they try and find cancer cells while you're asleep. And so if you have difficulty sleeping, or if you're stressed, it's going to increase your risk of cancer. All right. Because you don't give yourself time to rest and digest. That's the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's what allows you to want to have sex. It allows you to think about procreation. It allows your body to repair itself when your mind and your body is quiet. So you want to avoid nervous system burnout. And how do you restore parasympathetic activity? Is you can do it through rest. So sleep is so important. I tell patients nothing gets better if you don't sleep, because that's when you rest and digest and you repair. Breath work. If you can focus on it, if you can slow down your breath, and if you can control your thoughts, your heart rate slows down. And when your heart rate slows down, that's stimulated by the vagus nerve. And that's what causes everything to slow down and to start to repair itself and to start to look and see where the abnormalities are. And your body can heal itself if you allow it time to do it. That's why when you get sick, you want to get in the bed and you want to rest, because that rest allows your body to heal itself. That Claritin and all of that other stuff, yeah, that may help some, but the rest is allowing your body to do what it naturally can do, is heals itself. And grounding, just being present where you are and not thinking about what might happen, because you're always going to think the worst case scenario. So you can think yourself sick about things that have not even happened. So you think about the bad things that have happened, and then you project that and think about what might happen. And so you're in this constant stress mode. So you have to stop. You have to break it. You have to come and be present in this moment. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. That is when your body can heal. And that is when you can hear that still small voice that aligns you and tells you what you need to do. All right. All right. So we got a few more minutes left. Let's get going. All right. Toxins, gut backup. You need, another thing that sucks away your energy is that if you can't rest or digest, and it's important to be able to digest your food. If your gut is not working and you are having diarrhea and things, you're not absorbing anything. Your gut can be inflamed, and it causes it where it can't absorb nutrients, and it can't keep out toxins. Your gut is a filter. It should only let in nutrients, and any toxins should go out the other end. Now, if you're having bowel movements 3 times a week instead of 3 times a day, those toxins just sit there and it inflames the bowel. And when it's inflamed, it can allow things to seep through. You just think when your nose is inflamed, when your mucous membranes are inflamed, they get leaky. And that's what leaky gut is. That gut is inflamed. Things leak in that shouldn't leak in. Your body sees it as a foreign body, and it causes an inflammatory response. Now, it's not like when you eat shellfish and your whole face breaks out. It's that low level of inflammation. And that low level of inflammation is what is a deadly killer. Okay? Inflammation is some people even call it inflammaging, is that inflammation ages you. Okay, because you're not absorbing nutrients, you're letting all these toxins in, you have an inflammatory response that can cause brain fog. That constant inflammation, just like when you're sick, you have no energy. Well, you may be not bedridden sick, but you have that low level of inflammation that is sucking away your energy. So you want to make sure that your gut works. All right. You want to have good bowel movements. You want to be able to detox, and you want to take probiotics. And there's other things you can do, and we can talk about that later. Is to decrease that inflammation. You can do food sensitivity tests, and we talk about all of that in our school group when you take our upper level class. All right, let's see. All right, nutrient deficiency. How you get a nutrient deficiency? By your gut not working. Okay, there's things that you need to absorb from the food you eat. And the problem is a lot of the food that we eat don't have the nutrients that they're supposed to have. A lot of this industrialized farming has stripped away all of the nutrients and the minerals in the ground, in the soil. And so even when you're eating broccoli, the nutrients that should be in the broccoli aren't really there. And that's why when you go to, I hear this all the time, people go to other countries and they talk about how the food tastes different and how much more flavorful it is. And that's because they have not destroyed the soil with all this industrialization. Okay. So it can also be depleted by stress, by different medications. And yes, as you get older, things like NAD go down. And we don't even make our own vitamin C. So we give a lot of IVs in our office. We give something called a super energy IV that has vitamin C and NAD in it. And that really can increase adrenal function and increase your energy level. All right, I got to hurry along here. Emotional and spiritual disconnection. That can sap your energy. I'm going to tell you, I have so much more energy now that I have this to focus on. I'm telling you, I can't wait to get up in the morning to do my ageless tip of the day. I can't wait to think about different podcasts that I can do, different YouTube videos I can do. And I was really stuck. I mean, I'm really into the hormones, but I did that 20 years ago, and I feel obligated to keep talking about that. But the reason why I really started this Ageless Blueprint is to talk about how if you can go inward and you can let go of the things that you need to let go of and grab hold to the things you should be grabbing hold to, it can totally transform your life. Okay. And you want to get out of this survival mode and stop thinking about, and when you're in survival mode, all you're thinking about is yourself and what you are doing right now. All you can see is your present day circumstances. And you project that and think that it's always going to be like that. And when there's a statement that this too shall pass. And that's how you have to live life. Like whatever this situation is, it will pass. And you have to figure out, how is it going to pass? Is it going to pass positively for you, or is it going to pass negatively for you? And you can control that. How you look at the situation, how you evaluate the situation, how you move, and how intuitively you move toward the right path. You can control your future situation. It doesn't have to be based on what you see and hear right now. But when you're in that survival mode, all you're thinking about is survival. How can I get through this day? You're not thinking about how you can get through 5 years from now. You have to get out of that survival mode in order to be able to even think about changing your future. All right, so solution to Ageless Blueprint. This is what we talk about in my school group, and I'm really encouraging you to do that. I'm building it. We want to be a community and share things, but you have to have purpose driven living, and that's the top. So you really got to go from the bottom up. So one, we got to balance your hormones. I just keep talking about that because I have seen it. If you go to our Google reviews on Taylor Medical Group, you'll see it can be life changing if you can get your heart. It changed my life. It changed my career just by